you know, and it becomes a bigger thing because fame is tricky because you read what's
Everyone
said
should
about
go check out Brian's Substack newsletter and YouTube channel called Clubhouse Combos. It teaches creators how to gain sponsorships, partner with other creators, and navigate new channels. If you're a new creator or someone just looking for advice, I definitely suggest checking out.
Hello. I'm starting to fix some of the issues. Get everything more smooth. Hopefully. I'm missing an O face, and I need to fix that. But for now, this is what you get. And how is everybody? If you don't already know me, my name is River, and I am the cat that's owned by a man named Brian Penny. And if you don't know Brian, he's a journalist. He's a bunch of things. He's also kind of an asshole. Um, he's been featured on the cover of magazines like High Times, and he dives into pretty much every industry to try to figure out what's good and bad and newsworthy that's going on. But he's kind of an asshole. Well, he did write a book. His book's all about Clubhouse. Everybody says that you should write a book about this and that. And we'll call it the Silver Age of Clubhouse, was an interesting time. The Golden Age of Clubhouse was basically from, all of 2020, from the time that it blew up during the pandemic to the time that it kind of fizzled out, we'll say. But January of 2021, all the way through about we'll call it the end of May, beginning of June. So the first 6 months of 2021 was basically the silver age of Clubhouse, and that's what Brian covers in his book. And I'm not really here to promote his book or any of that. I'm more here to promote myself. So, if you want to see more about what I'm doing, I'm River. I'm his cat. I go through and get most of the real work done in this house. And you can see everything on Pinterest. Pinterest is where I have a lot of my pictures from my time on the road and all of the things that I've done. And so today what we're talking about is social audio. And we're starting off with Discord because Discord is kind of my home base. This is where I built a server out. I've got 150, 160 people that are in here, and we're tracking everything about social audio. So it becomes kind of my home base for everything, and where I can get my community, kind of tell everybody what's going on. Discord, if you're not aware, it started off with gaming. In the early mid 2010s, it was all focused on gaming and the gaming community. And when Bitcoin got big in 2017, it started to shift a little bit more towards crypto, just like Telegram. And by that point, they had a really strong user base. I believe there's about 150 to 200 million monthly active users, about 150 active every month, and at least 220 or so that are registered total. And it's a large community, and they're starting to branch out a lot more. What I have up on the screen right now on my computer, I've got the actual program, but it's easier to share it through the window. So you can get this on any computer, any device, any tablet or phone. Discord's available. And there's a variety of different channels. Like when you first come in, besides the rules, you get all of these text channels that are on here, like generals, which is where we're in right here. This whole section is basically all of the channels that are available in my server. These are all the servers that I'm a member of, and this is the content within the channel, and these are the people that are in the server. So what I have set up here is kind of mocking a lot of the stuff that's going on with social audio, especially Clubhouse. And there's different types of channels. There's anything with this little hashtag sign, the pound sign. These are text channels. So everything in here, it's all text, and you can scroll and see. I mean, it's kind of like having a subreddit in a way. Um, there are also threads within each one of these that can go on there. And then we have the audio rooms, which it's oh, it is gonna love it. You know what? I can even share the screen. Hold on, let's pull this up. Oh, it's not gonna let me do it right now. Okay. Well, it's probably because I have Discord open on the other side, which I probably could share it from there. I don't know. I don't want to figure it out on a live stream. So, on top, what you can do in these channels, by the way, if you're doing a raid in a video game, if you want to do a watch party, you can share music, you can share videos. There's bots you can put in here that create ambiance. That most of the cool music bots were shut down by YouTube because they Spotify is already in here. They're here's the official Spotify. They have their own server with a lot more people than I have in mine. Um, they play ads, and people don't want to have ads during their video games, so they kind of they like these bots, Groovy Bot, Rhythm, and things like that, and YouTube shut them down to bring their own thing in here, so you can do group watches from YouTube, but it's not the same. You have to watch the ads and all of that. I use this a lot when I'm doing during like live UFC matches, especially the big pay-per-views. I'll share them in here. I don't even care. It's a public viewing. I pay for the thing, and if I want to watch it with my friends in my community, I'm watching it with them, and we're talking about it. So, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, it's a gray area the way I understand it. I tried to look it up, but I'm doing it, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun to be able to play a game together, watch a movie together. We watch HBO, Netflix, Hulu, all sorts of things on there, and it's an interesting it's a really interesting platform in the community. Uh, hold on, I don't have it shared in that thing. Or let me messing up everything. There we go. So Discord is basically a meeting place, a community. So if you're a Twitch streamer, or you're trying to find a Twitch streamer, or your favorite YouTuber, there's a good chance, even TikTokers, you can find them on here. Kanye East, MKBHD. I've seen quite a few people in here pretty regularly, and they have a new thing that's called the stage channels. Stage channels basically mimic what Clubhouse does, and they used to have stage discovery. That was just taken away this week, and they basically were making fun of how bad all of the content was in there. It was all like ridiculous debates on things that people don't care about, some troll things, and mostly these talent shows for fake Discord Nitro, which is the like in platform currency. And they got rid of it because nobody was interested in that, which is funny because that's all Clubhouse is too. And so they basically said that the Clubhouse hallway discoverability, their whole scheme is crap. And I don't disagree. Uh, when you do go into the other social audio stuff, the thing is with Discord, you could do it on any kind of device. With everything else that we're going to talk about, it's mostly only on iPhone or only on phones. So you have to have some special equipment if you really want to make it sound good. And like I've got a Stream Deck, I've got a professional Rode microphone, I've got all sorts of stuff that's hooked up to make this happen. And social audio is no different. You need to have like a mixing board of some kind. And so that's why a lot of people talk about the iRig 2. You specifically have to get the iRig 2. You can't get the iRig 1. You can't get the iRig 2 HD. It has to be the iRig 2 specifically. And what it does is it converts the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack into a microphone jack so that you can get everything, or an instrument jack, sorry, so that you can plug it into a normal mixer. And what this is the QQFM. And this one was actually sent for me for free because I did a review of the initial one. This is an independent guy. He's not associated with any big company. iRig, I can't remember the name of the company. IK Multimedia, I believe. But they're a pretty large company, corporation, and do a lot of software and things like that. So this is just a maker who went on Kickstarter and knew that he had something that needed to be done. And he created the same basic idea, but this uses all 3.5 millimeter cables. So this little device, you can plug into like 3 different devices and have 3 sets of monitors. And this will give you the soundboard, the voice modulation, and all of the. You can hook up a professional microphone and your laptop to your Android to your iPhone or whatever you needed to do to make the audio sound clean. If you're going to be serious about being a social audio creator, this is something that you really need to look into. The QQFM, it's the size of a lighter. I don't get any kind of, there's no link. QQ.FM, that's where you go to buy this thing. I get nothing out of it. I'm just going to send a video to the guy to show him that he gave me the device and that I did test it to make sure that it works. I've tested the old one. He basically added some new features because he did it all for iPhone, and I have Android and PC and all that stuff. And so I really kind of tested out the boundaries, and he made some fixes over the last 2 months since I did that review. So I'm going to do a written review later on and kind of include all this stuff. But I'm not a part of this affiliate program. I don't get anything out of it. I just respect the independent creator who goes through and fills a need. The iRig was not convenient. It's convenient if you're already an audio professional. You already have all the mixing equipment and the instrument cables and all that stuff. But the average person doesn't have all that stuff, and they're going to have to spend hundreds to thousands of dollars to get all of it. This is just a quick, I think it's like 100, might be, I don't remember what it will cost. It was free to me. But the QQFM is built, oh yeah, it's less than 100. Oh, it's 100. I guess there's the older version, but that's not the one you want. You want the newer version. But this is the tool basically to get into everything social audio related. So when you do dive in, like if you ever leave Discord and go into any other kind of social audio platform, you're never really going to hear about Clubhouse. Clubhouse is the innovator and the creator of the industry, but it's also run by a really bad company and poor leadership. It's mismanaged. It's a cult. Most of the people that you see in here on this picture are pretty big members of the cult and pretty deep into it. I would not recommend following the majority of them because they're nuts. They're a crazy cult. They'll get you to drink the Kool-Aid. It's a $4 billion company, which is funny because it hasn't been reevaluated in a long time. And by the end of this year, maybe it'll go up. But overall, they've dropped the ball on a lot of things. They don't know what they're doing. The CEO is an incompetent man-child who doesn't know how to listen to anybody or take any kind of criticism from his creators. So this ends up just being a really bad platform. It's filled with a lot of cults. It's filled with a lot of marketing crap, MLM schemes, pyramid schemes. People are trying to get your money and give you these crap NFTs and coins that nobody cares about. They're all making millions, and they're not giving back to the community in any way. They're just taking. The only people that I do respect on Clubhouse are the comedians. There's a bunch of comedians. There's some musicians that are okay on there, but it's mostly comedians. There's a ton of talented comedians. There's a bunch of great comedy workshops, comedy podcasts. all sorts of comedy, that stand-up comedy, skit comedy, situational comedy, whatever you're into, there is definitely something on Clubhouse that's there for you. But a lot of them don't stay long unless they're financially incentivized to do it, because I mean, once you get the amount of followers, I mean, some of these people have 50 to 100K followers. At least if you have above 10K, you're going to get a gig somewhere. They're mostly pushing people to their Instagram because that's a lot more reputable than Clubhouse. But I mean, anywhere that you find these people, their podcasts, their shows, whatever it is, they're great people. They're really good performers, and comedy is really the only thing that Clubhouse has going for it. Beyond that, it's hate rallies, conspiracy theories, misinformation, bad management, a cult, everything that's wrong with the world. It's all happening on Clubhouse, and that's why everybody, including myself, moved over to Twitter Spaces. Twitter Spaces is basically Twitter plus Clubhouse. And they have a lot more stuff going on, basically. The crypto community left Clubhouse for the most part because they were tired of being dumped on by their founders who had their own blockchain and cryptocurrency project that failed miserably. Yeah, all of those people left. A bunch of the conservatives left. A bunch of the black people left because everybody was tired of getting dumped on and getting trolled and getting constantly bullied and harassed on that platform. The platform just, encourages stalking, all sorts of bad behavior. And it says something that people move to Twitter to be a safer space because Twitter is well known for having a decade of bullshit, too. Twitter is basically like the most toxic version of Facebook, of everything that's on Facebook and all the trolling that's on Reddit and the groups and Facebook and all that stuff. It's all coming from Twitter. Twitter is where cancel culture and trolling and all that stuff really flourished. Besides being used as a method of communication during the activist stuff, like during the Arab Spring and Occupy and all those kind of things, Twitter after that just became toxic and was just filled with all this toxic masculinity and trolls and just racism and sexism and every ism you can imagine. It's funny and a little bit, what's the word, disingenuous that they try to get rid of Trump like as if he's the problem. Like, no, Twitter's always kind of been the problem. But it does have better content than Clubhouse, and it's a lot easier to discover it. Twitter's made some leaps and bounds and integrating spaces into everything. They used it to get rid of the fleets. They shut down Periscope and Vine, and they're focusing on audio, and they're hoping that that's enough to make everything sticky. And they do have NFL partnerships. They have a lot of professional athletes and entertainers that already have hundreds of thousands to millions of followers on Twitter, so they don't need to rebuild on Clubhouse. And you'll see people like Jay-Z and Elon Musk, they'll jump into Twitter Spaces. They used to do, not Jay-Z, but some like 21 Savage and people like that will show up on Clubhouse, but it's just not worth it for them in the long run. And the other option that we have is Spotify's Green Room. Now, this one caused a mass exodus from Clubhouse back in June when it was released, but it never stayed sticky. The team at Spotify is not putting any money into this project until after next year. And until then, they're just basically using all of us as like beta testers to find all the bugs. And a lot of people jumped in there. Whatever was fun about it, Spotify pulled it away just to save their servers. And it's got some good stuff. There's some partners from Spotify that have podcasts that are pretty good. I've done some reviews on clubhouseconversations.substack.com, the newsletter, and it's going to get bigger because the thing is that Spotify streams, they actually count towards like the Billboard, towards the platinum records and all that kind of stuff, all their payouts, and their record sales, and so SoundScan, that's the other one I was looking for, and so people do want to build their communities on Spotify. There are some pretty big YouTubers with around 1 million followers that I've seen, and a couple of Instagrammers and Twitter people that have some followings, and a few Clubhousers and all that. They are making content. They are, doing regular things. They got a true crime Tuesday nights on Spotify Green Room. That's worth it if you're into true crime. There's like 4 or 5 different podcasts. Personally, I would recommend Only Murders in the Building, the Hulu show where they have Steve Martin and Selena Gomez and Martin Short all trying to be podcasters and kind of lampooning and satirizing that entire thing. There's a whole range of the true crime people, and it's just people playing music that you could play on Spotify yourself, except it's a lot worse audio quality. But there is some music discoverability to it. There's some decent things going on, and it is worth watching just because it's Spotify. Because Spotify is like balls deep in podcasts, like $1 billion worth of podcasts, and they're really forcing Gimlet Media, Joe Rogan, and all these people, Call Her Daddy, and all the stuff that they own to integrate all this stuff, to integrate Anchor and all this other, and promote the crap out of all the Spotify stuff and Green Room. So expect to see this kind of blow up pretty soon next year. We're only a few months into it, or away from it. So by 2022, you're going to see some money poured into this, and Spaces is going to start kind of focusing on what Spotify is doing more than Clubhouse. Clubhouse has some clips and some things, but it's pretty much over. There's nobody under the age of 35 or 40 under there. Everybody else who's young and matters is basically on Twitter Spaces and on Green Room, and that's out of the people that are like really addicted to social audio. I've met a lot of people who got introduced to it through Green Room. Actually, most people are from Clubhouse, but Green Room got its own thing, and some people joined through like Periscope and Twitter and all that. But what they've had recently that I've seen popping up a lot more is Reddit Talks. Reddit Talk is their version of everything. Reddit is trying to basically do TikTok and YouTube and Twitch and everything. And this is their Clubhouse version. I've seen some live ones. I have not been able to get in. I always get these loading screens. There's 2 different color loading screens. I've got a reddish pink and a blue. And every time I end up getting where there's just too many in there, you get this notification. So at the very beginning, when it starts, when you open up your app, I don't know if this is true on the website, but when you open up the Reddit app on the iPhone, it'll tell you at the beginning that somebody is starting one of these. Every time I try to join it, I got that blank screen, and it just says that too many people are trying to join, and they're overloaded. Clubhouse can only handle 8,000 people in a room, and they've really updated that over the last year. But that's not enough. That's not enough people. You need 10,000 or so for Reddit, especially on this. The Wall Street Bets has like 10 million people or more that are in that subreddit. So having 1,000 or whatever people in a room is just not going to work. It's going to crash every time it overload. And that's what I've seen with every one of these things. I've seen like 3 different ones. Wall Street Bets is the one I really wanted to get into, but I wasn't able to because it was immediately full. But know that Reddit Talk is out there, that they're trying to do everything else. And if you can't get in, there's a thing called RPAN. And what that is basically the Reddit Public Access Network, is what it is, PAN. And remember public access broadcast television, when you used to watch television? They were, Wayne's World back in the day, that movie and that SNL skit was all about the public access channel in Aurora, Illinois. And in Tucson, in Arizona, where I live, there was a public access channel too. There probably still is. Most colleges have them too. And this is Reddit's version of it, where you could broadcast to the entire world. And it's a little bit difficult to get into because you gotta kind of like wait in line and get in the right time and pay attention. But this is where you're gonna find a lot of the people that like right here we have the musicians from the Lullaby Club which got popularized by Clubhouse and also popularized Clubhouse because Axel Mansour he and Bomani X are the two most prolific app icons that you just see out of any coverage of Clubhouse. Every time they change it every month, it doesn't really do much because people still use the old photos from Getty Images or Shutterstock or wherever it happens to be that they get their photos, and most of that was done during the height of around December through February of Clubhouse, the Silver Age, and the end of Golden Age and the shift into the Silver Age. Now we're in like the trash age, what's like the aluminum trash or the plastic trash can age of Clubhouse. And so that's why everybody's migrating away. I mean, look at this. You can get 25,000 is what he actually got, 20,000 on the screenshot. But that's people jumping in and out. Over the whole thing, he probably had closer to like 45 to 50,000 people because as long as people are tipping and giving you gifts and awards and things like that, and it just keeps on going. They buy more time, essentially. And he was on here for a while. Axel's Lullaby Club is really popular. It's not just him. Lori Laughlin and a few of the other people. If you're ever interested in the Lullaby Club, you can actually find a lot of those people in my Discord. They, a lot of the, there it is. Now it's gonna let me share a screen in there. It's because I was in the stage channel, and now all of these backed up requests that I sent to Discord are jumping in. So, but you can talk to any of those people in the Discord or get to know any of them if you really want to. Outside of the main competitors, we also have a few kind of long shots. One of those is Ty Lopez's Speakeasy. You've likely heard of it if you ever follow Chris Bivens. He is hardcore selling it. He's got some kind of investment in it or an affiliate program, whatever it is, he's 100% getting paid to be kind of hawking this thing like he is. It's just like Fireside. We're trying to go into, one more. So Fireside is the other one. This is basically Mark Cuban's version of Ty Lopez's version of Clubhouse. Both of them add video and other features to make it kind of like a speaker thing, and they all kind of have different elements. Like, I've heard of a lot of people that have fun playing games and Speakeasy and doing things like that, but, overall, this is 100%. Ty Lopez is just a sales funnel guy. I've known of people who try to do business with him. It wasn't that great. He's just a guy. He has a good YouTube channel and some money, and then makes it look like he has more money. But I mean, if you're into that, the millennial money guys like Graham Stevens and Meet Kevin Patrick and all those people, they're a lot more genuine. And you can find people like the Sharks, Kevin O'Leary on YouTube. All these people are a lot more genuine than what Ty Lopez will give you. But Mark Cuban having his name on Fireside isn't much better because Mark Cuban is not, he's just a guy. He's got a lot of money. He made most of his money, became a billionaire by selling broadcast.com to Yahoo, which is widely seen as one of the worst, like, acquisitions in history, especially in modern history, but in, like, all of human history. That was one of the worst acquisitions. Kevin O'Leary has one of the worst acquisitions ever when he sold the learning company to Mattel, too. Both Mattel and Yahoo have suffered greatly from these sharks. So I don't know that this is necessarily the right business. I mean, I love the Dallas Mavericks and all that. I'm not going to pay Dogecoin for it. I sold all my Dogecoin after Elon Musk and Mark Cuban hyped over that crap up, and I mean, the price, I got like 1,000x return on what I had gotten on there. But yeah, both of these apps are okay. They're not doing very much that Twitter and Spotify aren't already doing, but they're trying and they're giving it they're doing better than Clubhouse. I would not use Clubhouse. I'm so above that. And then the other big one that will sort of, I guess, contender is stereo, which is mostly across the pond. I've met a lot of people who were from Europe, from Australia, and Africa on stereo. This seems to be like a really big app for them. And it's very similar to everything else. The avatar's a lot more cartoony. That's also true on Reddit Talk, where you get the pseudonymous avatars. This one, you're still kind of told to use your real name, but it's not really followed. Um, there is some decent content in here, and just like Fireside, you can watch or listen to all of it after the fact, which is building up an archive, building up a library, and that's what's necessary to succeed. The biggest tragedy of Clubhouse is that everything that happened during the golden age in 2020, it's gone. We don't know that it ever happened. We have no proof. It's just gone. And that's what they wanted with Clubhouse. They wanted not to document anything, and that's why nobody bought them in 2021, because they had no documentation. People aren't going to spend $4 billion to buy a company that some man-child is running into the ground and has no documentation of when it actually was good. And it was. It's just not it anymore. So that's basically what we have for any kind of drop-in audio today. That's the all the competitors that I've seen. There's Facebook also, but I'm just so sick of Facebook. There's too much stuff on Facebook. Nobody's really gonna. I mean, their groups are probably gonna do some chats on there, but like, it's just not the place that you're gonna find some like breaking new creators. Like, I'm never gonna call myself a Facebook creator, even though I'm actually live streaming on Facebook. I mean, it's just my third string channel that I'm going to. Um, but yeah, this is Social Audio. It's been a pleasure talking to everybody about all of this. I hope that you've learned something, and if you don't know how to navigate the social audio economy, then I've got the Discord channel down below. I've got the newsletter. You can subscribe to this channel. We're going to be doing a lot more talking about some more in-depth and some reviews of some of the content that's on there, and yeah, it's going to be a good old time had by everybody. But until then, my name is River. I am owned by nobody, but I do live with a guy who is doing all this for me, so I guess give him a shout out. Hey Brian, thank you. I really appreciate everything that you did to make me, get this career and come to life. So, let's sign off. Have a wonderful day.